I am David Townsend, and I create cutaway art. Cutaway art is where you see the outside of the car, but you also see all of the inside of the car. And in my drawings, that includes things like the insides of the gearbox, the insides of the motor, pistons, crank, and all those details. And it's all wrapped up in an exterior that's transparent. It's like having X-ray vision. I do that in a digital environment. My drawings involve someplace between 150 and 250 different layers. So there's a dimensionality to the creative process. It's not just 2D. You have the depth of this drawing that you're manipulating to create what is really an illusion. What I find most fascinating about the insides of the car as part of the creative story is it's organic. It is what makes the car. I think we look at cars and we see the skin, we see the body, we see all that, but it's the stuff that's underneath that makes that the way it is. And so I find that's a part of the story, and it's an important part of the story to tell, because you want to see you don't want to just get like the first chapter and the last chapter. You want to read the whole story, and I think you have to include all the parts if you're going to do that. I chose the cutaway art style because I think the insides of the car are as important as the outside. It's kind of the old form function idea, where the outside of the car is generally a condition of what the builder intended, and I think that's a really cool thing. In creating all this art, it's not fast. It takes about 120 hours to create a single cutaway. I probably got started in the 4th grade, drawing Ed Roth, Big Daddy Roth drawings. My first illustration job was probably when I was about 22. And I started off back when we didn't have all this fancy equipment, and I was using traditional markers and pens and whatnot to create renderings for an automotive retailer. Over the years, I kind of graduated up the ladder. I became an art director, creative director, and eventually I became an agency owner. And I was an agency owner for quite a long time. When I decided that I wanted to go off into a different area, I sold it, and I really wanted to get back to my illustration roots. I had done a commission for somebody. They really liked it. I retained the print rights. I sold a few, and I was kind of off to the races. So I guess I would call myself an accidental artist, because I really didn't intend for my art to become what it has. And I think when people hear digital artist, I think there's a notion that the computer does the work, and that is just not the way this happens. I still draw by hand, admittedly on an electronic drawing board, but everything is still drawn by hand. So I'm still the creator. It's just a set of tools to me. Like a camera would be a tool to a photographer, or in some case, a palette knife to a painter. The digital environment is just that. It's just a tool. It doesn't do the thinking. It doesn't tell the story. It provides the means to do so. But it has so many advantages. The level of detail that I'm able to create in prints, the ability to manipulate the print, in different colors or with different equipment. You can't do that in a traditional environment, and financially speaking, you'd be crazy. You'd be creating every print by hand. It just doesn't work that way. There are aspects of it that are so much more difficult than an analog environment. There are things in analog that you can do really quickly that take forever in the digital environment, because it's not set up to do that. But it certainly started in very modest beginnings about 15 years ago with a single commission, and it's grown from there. So, honestly, there are so many cars right now that I want to draw. I have about a schedule that goes about 3.5 years out right now, and it never shrinks. It just keeps getting bigger, and I hope to get most of them done, in my lifetime, as long as my eyes and hands hold out. I really enjoy the medium. I think most of all, I enjoy the history of the cars that I draw, and the people who created them. And there's just a never-ending supply of those stories. And I'd like to invite you to come see my work at the Art House Collective.